Yes, I am back at the Freeport Country Inn that is over by the Haven in Sacramento. Cute little hotel, sort of like a bed and breakfast without being a bed and breakfast. And they've been very, very sweet to me the whole entire time. So I'm giving a little shout out for them because they have been so kind and nice. Evidently, they have usually an amazing breakfast when we're not on COVID, and I had probably the best beef bourguignon I've had outside of my own kitchen here when we came the very first time, because right now they're serving dinner on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But hopefully with COVID, it'll pick back up again, because I feel really bad for these places, and they have been so kind and bent over backwards for me. So anyway, we are doing today the numerology and the astrology for 2/11/2021, and yes, I am back in Sacramento finishing up some things with my uncle and his partner's estate. So we're in the home stretch, at least in regards to the property and getting rid of things. We managed to get rid of the bed yesterday. The neighbor next door, their son, who was this big, huge 6'6" young man, is going to take the bed, which is great because it was a brand new bed, and we have given a ton of stuff away. It was just easier to give things away than to try and put things up on online and sell them and stuff. And so there's always people who need things. All right, if this has taught me anything, it has taught me that, boy, we need to get rid of stuff, and we need to get rid of clutter, and we need to get organized, and you need to remember to pay your taxes, which I don't think they did for the last couple of years. And, in California, I've learned that pretty much everyone needs a trust. If you don't have a trust and you just have a will, evidently a trust goes into probate, and it could be caught in the courts for about 2 years because everything is so backlogged at the moment. And so if you have a trust, which they did have, thank God, then it can go like in a couple months after all the bills and things are paid. So I am just telling everybody, you want to get organized. It's like this has taught me a lesson. Even my sweet husband, he went home and cleaned out his office. After doing this one round, he was like, okay, I am getting rid of a whole bunch of things that are no longer relevant or necessary. So again, death teaches us about life. Death teaches us where we maybe haven't been being responsible and dealing directly with life. And when we die, somebody else is going to have to pick up the pieces. Somebody else is going to have to do the things that we didn't do. And, depending on who that person is, do you really want them to be stuck with that? So honestly, considering everything, it's not the worst it could be by a long shot. I mean, I know some people are like, the cleaning thing was probably pretty bad, but at least it wasn't a gigantic house. I mean, some people have houses where they've kept things forever and ever and ever and ever. And it gets down to what do we really need? What are the things that we really need in life? We need a lot less than the stuff we have. And we need to look at what we use and what we don't use. And where they were great was that they had in the past some really beautiful objects of art that they had bought on their mini travels, and they had donated them many years ago. I guess starting about 10 years ago, they had started donating them. So they had a beautiful Russian reliquary that they had bought in Russia that the Russian Orthodox Church couldn't afford, and its artist had made it, and so they gave it to the Russian Orthodox Church in San Francisco. And then they had a canopic jar made, and it was huge. It was 1,000 pounds. It was amazing. Anyway, and they gave that to the Egyptian Museum in San Jose. So, I think that there's things that they did really right, and they got rid of a lot of expensive things that should be going to museums or should be going to special places, and I'm proud of them for that. Because I think as we get older, it gets simpler. I think we do need less and less and less. So that's just my 2 cents for all of that. We are doing the numerology and the astrology for February 11th, 2021. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 9. And the number 9 is about completion, and it supports that elusive need to finish up many things. Completion, the number 9, is just beyond our fingertips. And patience is required as things feel as if they are spinning out of control. And they kind of are on so many levels. Remember to breathe and to let things settle into new places. There is so much yet to be revealed over many months. These moments can be challenging as illusions are seen in the light of the intent fueling them. Completion is often painful because it forces us to see that which we would rather not know. Stay as flexible as possible. Upon reflection, we see we have been under tremendous strain, and each of us has been stretched beyond what we ever expected. And we are here to find a new door, a new way, and a new truth for a rapidly changing world. The astrology today. We have an Aquarius moon today, and 6 of the 10 planets we use in astrology and the strategic planner asteroid Pallas are now in Aquarius. Each person should feel this unusual pattern in their way. For most, it may feel in various forms like a personal revolution. This energy is a time to open to higher ideals and innovative thinking. There is this deep desire to branch out and connect to new people and old friends and explore groups and organizations that are in harmony with our changing philosophy. You may feel as if it's time to kind of pull back from those things that feel chaotic and spend time with those on a path of wisdom and higher learning and understanding. And right now there's a deep need just for massive change. I mean, look at this Aquarian energy, and it gives us this objective reality and ability to look past the emotional energy and detach from the fears and restrictive thoughts that have stopped us in the past. This Mercury Retrograde is messing with us. Frustrations arise as you attempt to finish things up, but other actions seem to not follow things to completion. Eventually, we will be able to resolve all of this, so just be patient. All things holding stuff back will shift in the coming weeks. There is a particularly hopeful energy arising. Progress is calling, and there is a deep understanding that focus is needed to keep this progressive energy moving. Right now, that focus is there, yet we cannot see the other side of what is about to happen. Explore, integrate the newest systems and technologies. This will be a rapidly changing reality, and each of us have to adapt as best we can, like right now, because you got to learn how to adapt right now, because it's just going to get more intense. There is a growing power inside that is about being hopeful, generous, and friendly. And when we cooperate with others, we learn forgiveness. Be aware that we can overspend and overstate feelings. That desire to love and find the connection is powerful, but these moments are heightened because of the astrology. Remember that there is also fleeting, but remember this is also fleeting and can really change as more time and substance is required for us to ground into this reality. I think I said that right. Hopefully that made sense. I read my own writing and I think, is that right? It's like, oh my God. Okay, my quote for today: when we cooperate with others, we learn forgiveness. My blog. It's incredible how many things I have been running simultaneously. The last few days, I've had so many obligations to complete, and I never had a moment to breathe. It was a combination of dealing with my clients and trying to write blogs in the middle of navigating lawyers for the estate and pieces that needed to be handled, and I'm not there, and people forgetting their appointments in a Mercury retrograde, or people's phones not working and them not being able to connect in, and trying to get everything packed and unpacked, because I still hadn't unpacked my car from my last trip to Sacramento, and so I had to unpack my car in order to pack my car. And then my husband had a huge interview with a new job with a big company, and it was like all the preparation for that, and then just trying to get the grocery shopping so that my husband had food in order to deal with things. It was like the list was endless. It was absolutely endless. At least on the physical reality. But like I said, we're in the home stretch with my uncle, and the people came through, the condominium people came through to take a look to see how good or bad it was, and they were really astounded that it was that good, which was great because we have done so much work. And yet there's still so much to do. I mean, the reality is that my uncle didn't do taxes for the past couple of years, so we've got to deal with that. We've got the lawyer that we have to have all the expenses for all of this that we've been doing. We've got to get the death certificates to the right people and get the ashes, and it's endless. It's just shocking. I'm so grateful that over the last many years, like I said, my uncle had given so much away, and while I hope family members are not upset about that, I think that they knew them well enough to kind of say, well, it's great, it's in a museum, that's fantastic, kind of thing. So I'm happy that those things that were precious to them were given, and that other people can really appreciate them and value them and have them. Because, some of these things were really big, like, what are you going to do with like a canopic jar in your house? It's like, what are you going to do with a Russian reliquary that's like this big, in your house? So it all works in some weird way, the way it's supposed to work. Okay. My last closing thought today. Life is an interesting thing, full of joy as well as pain. But life is not just about what you leave behind. Life reveals who you are even when you are blind. We see the world through strained eyes. We try to be kind in the face of lies. We know within each beats a heart so true. And what is left is a mirror to see through. We see the kindness held in the heart. We see the humor in our counterpart. We recognize that time is short, and while the mind will forever distort, in the end what remains is what is real. We are all here to do karma and to heal. Thanks, everyone.